those of you who were on last week's call, we had almost everybody in the beta program actually show up to the call, which is awesome. There weren't a lot of time conflicts. There were a few people who weren't able to make it. But last week's call was an awesome call. Awesome. I got awesome emails from you guys. Great feedback. And it has nothing to do with real estate. So if you missed that call, guys and gals, go into the beta member secure area, find that week 2 call, click it, and carve out an hour, because it could totally, if you implement it, it could honestly change your life. It could change your outlook on things and really eliminate the roadblocks that are stopping you from getting your results. So go through and make sure you check out the week 2 session on limiting beliefs. So anyway, mastering content. One quick thing, if any of you still have not got your implementation appointments, let us know. Mostly everybody has had the one-on-one implementation appointment with us. If you have not, because some people for some reason haven't been getting our emails that we've sent you, whether they're being filtered out as spam or something, we're not sure. But there was a handful of people who were not getting these emails. So email us at support@REItheme.com so we can get that one-on-one with you, so we can push forward, because that's a big part of it. If we've already had the one-on-one, we're still working on some things with you. If you're wondering where some changes are, or if you're wondering if things are done, we have it on the schedule, but email Kyle to make sure that he has a deadline and time for you, or maybe we aren't even aware of some of the things. So let's make sure we're on the same page. And one last thing, this is something some members have asked about, but they didn't push forward and actually get the solution. So branding. Once again, you don't have to have a logo to be successful. I know some people who have the simplest logos ever, and their websites are really successful. But then also on the other hand, there's some people who the logos are too simple or too ugly, or they detract from your credibility. So here's one of the beta members. We whipped up this logo for him this week, and it was based on what he told us he wanted it to look like a safe kind of on a house with the words. And we whipped this one up, and this was about 60 to 70 bucks, way cheaper than your normal logo creation. So anyway, if you need a logo or you want a logo, hit us up. We can help you with that if that's something you want help with. So here's a little thing I copied off the internet. It's a little news slide. So coming in the side door, the value of home pages is shifting from traffic driver to brand. And down at the bottom, it's pretty important. It says that leading media companies like the New York Times and Wall Street Journal, the majority of traffic now bypasses the homepage. And this is something that's really important. I know you're not the New York Times. I know you're not the Wall Street Journal. But what we're going to be going into tonight is how to actually get more traffic, how to get more targeted traffic to your websites. More traffic, if you're getting the right traffic, equals more people on your buyers list, equals more private lenders, equals more motivated sellers. Most of the stuff we're going to be talking about tonight is really going to be a lot more effective for your cash buyer, your cash buyers side of the things. But it's also going to be effective for your motivated seller sites. But what this little thing means is a lot of people put a lot of stock in most of their focus on making sure that their homepage is just awesome, and making sure that their homepage is optimized for all these types of keyword terms. And one thing that we've gone over a lot in the weeks since the beta program started is just the basic things of SEO, is that really one page on your site can really be it can be optimized for 1 or 2 keywords at most effectively. A lot of people try to make their homepage rank well for everything, and then all of a sudden you rank well for nothing. So how do you let's say you're serving in multiple cities, like we have a beta member, Stuart, and that was his logo actually on the last page. Well, Stuart is operating in multiple states, multiple cities. So how do you make your website, let's say your cash buyer's website, attract people who are looking for investment properties in Phoenix and Tampa and Indianapolis and all the other markets you're looking for? Well, the stuff that we're going to be going over tonight is going to help you with that. And it's really based on content. So what this is saying is you really need to build out the content on your website, because once you do, probably 70 to 80% of your traffic is going to come to your content pages. Let's say it's your blog posts or your pages rather than your home page. And that's where the bulk amount of your traffic is going to come from. That's when you really start to get a lot of traffic. That's when you see your traffic really start to go up. And that's really when you start to see some great results from your website. And it's all from a change of mindset. So with content, once again, just from talking with a lot of you, because I had the exact same mindset when I first started creating a website online in the real estate market. my thought was, man, I don't know what to write about, number one, and I don't have the time to do this writing. So there's just a big change of mindset that we have to do with that, which I'm going to go over here in a bit, but also this mindset that I just mentioned of thinking of your website once again as a net, right? And or a fishing line, and every single page or blog post that you put on your website is another fishing line in the water. And of course, the more fishing lines you have in the water, the more fish you're going to be able to catch. If you just have one line in the water versus your competitor who's doing a blog post every week, creating 4 new lines in the water every month, over a period of years, that's over 30 new quote-unquote lines in the water, blog posts, whatever you want to refer to them, and you've just got the one because you're not doing any blog posts. If they're doing it right, they're probably going to be getting a lot more traffic than you, and you're going to be getting more leads and more customers. So this is the mindset shift, and this is kind of some technical stuff, but I always want to lay the technical groundwork for you to make it make sense, and then I show you the easy way to implement it for everybody, if you're a techie or not. But this little cartoon and this little dinosaur, so on the left side it says number of results, and what I mean with that is number of search results. So if you go to Google and you type something in, the number of search results. On the bottom it says more generic on the left and more specific on the right. So you see on this little cartoon, on the left side of that graph, the dinosaur's head is way at the top. So the more generic the search term, the more competing results and more competing search pages your website is going to compete against. So once again, if you type in stop foreclosure, you're going to be competing against hundreds of millions of other websites or other web pages, and against people who have big budgets to pay someone for SEO to get there. It's going to be very, very tough to rank well for that. Then on the right side, you can see there's the dinosaur's tail, and that's what we call the long tail. And you can look it up on Google, type up long tail for search engine optimization if you want to learn a lot more about it. This isn't an SEO training tonight. But that's called the long tail, and as you get further to the right, that's more specific searches. So instead of stop foreclosure, you go stop foreclosure in Pittsburgh. That's more long tail. And yes, you're going to be getting less searches. There's less people typing that specific search phrase. But also there's less websites competing against you to get those people. And one really, really big benefit that most people don't think of at first, but when you realize this and when you actually implement it, you see the results, is the more specific you get, the more you focus on the long tail keywords. So keywords that are long and specific. Once again, the stop foreclosure in Pittsburgh, or how to find investment properties in Pittsburgh rather than investment properties. The more specific you get, the more close that person is to actually being a buyer, let's say. And I'll show you what that means here in a little bit. So we need to shift from main keywords once again. We'll use the main keywords for your homepage, like the investment properties in Pittsburgh, if that's what you're doing for your cash buyer site. And then focus on the blog to the long tail keywords, which this is going to make total sense here in a bit. So don't think that you have to have this totally ingrained in your mind. So what's really truly the goal with your website? So of course, you got a website for a few reasons. We've gone over a lot of those reasons in the last couple of weeks. Credibility is a big one. Of course, attracting traffic and leads is the biggest one. And the real true goal of your website, of content, of getting new content on your website, is getting in front of those people that matter, search engine optimization. And once again, some people could care less about SEO. So if you don't care about SEO and you're going to be driving your traffic mainly with something else, awesome. Don't worry about SEO. You don't have to do SEO to be successful, but it's just a tool. If you know how to do it, it helps you to get more traffic and more leads. And the biggie that a lot of people don't think about with content is building your expertise in your market. So if you go to Google and you type up Seattle investment properties or Seattle real estate market, most of the time what you're going to see, you're going to see some real estate agent's blog pop up for that topic. And then you go to their blog, you're reading their content, And then all of a sudden, you think, man, this person, they are an expert. They're a real estate expert in Seattle. While their competitor isn't doing any blog posts, and their competitor doesn't show up in those search terms. Or even if they did, somebody would go to their competitor's website, and you see it's a basic website. There's not a lot of personality. There's no real content, except for, hey, call me if you want to list your house, or hey, here's a MLS list searching, or here's like a mortgage broker, a mortgage calculator. The person who has content on their website and is giving value and has an opinion is seen as an expert, and people like to work with experts, and you get paid more as an expert. So if you want to be the leading expert for real estate investments, for stopping foreclosure, for investment properties, for cash flow investment properties, for turnkey investment properties, whatever it is you focus on, for multifamily properties, for lease options, which some of our students are working on. If you want to be that expert in your market, you need to put out content that shows your expertise. So if you think of books, once again, when people publish a book, automatically they're seen as an expert because they put what their thoughts were and they put them on something where people can read it. You're seen as an expert. Your blog is like a mini book for you. Your blog is where you can relay your message, where when people land on your website, they can learn more about you and see that you see your expertise. They're going to work with you more. It's going to increase your conversion. So that's truly your goal, to get in front of more people, the people that matter, search engine optimization, and building your expertise in your market. Here's a little snapshot from a blog post. Same thing. I took this today, but this blog post was from 2011. So there was a Google update semi-recently called the Panda update. And this is for search engine optimization once again. So don't think you have to know this techie stuff, but I'm going to back it up with simple ways to implement what I'm talking about here in a bit. But Google has what they call an algorithm, and it's this computer program that goes out there, reads all the web pages, and they have a bunch, like thousands of different factors that they rank web pages on. And in one of their most recent updates, a big factor that they added to that decision-making process is freshness. So Google is going to rank websites now based on the freshness of their content. So if you have your website up and you do one blog post a month, or you never do any, and your competitor in your same market is optimizing for the same, maybe you guys are both optimizing for Knoxville, Tennessee investment properties. Your competitor's website, who's doing a blog post a week, is going to show up higher in search engines just because they have fresh content. And Google thinks fresh content means the website is active, and they like active because they feel that that is delivering the web searcher a better experience. So that's what we need to look at, is not only is content just something I'm saying that you should do, it's something Google is actively ranking websites on if you're putting fresh content on the website on a continual basis. So once again, if you don't care about SEO, forget the whole freshness thing as far as SEO goes. But the freshness thing and the content thing is a really big thing for building your expert status once again. So when someone does land on your webpage from your Craigslist ad, or from your direct mail piece, or from your whatever it is, from your anything, if someone lands on your website and you have blog posts up that are showing your expertise, which I'm going to show you what blog posts to put up, you're going to be seen as an expert. People are going to work with you. So here's kind of my content made easy workshop. And once again, this was a big question people had, was, okay, content, I have no clue what I need to put on my blog. And Jimmy, you're on this call, you had that question, other people had the question, and I'm going to show you my process for getting the best content online. So here's the two biggest fears that I've heard from beta members, I had myself, and I've heard from other people, is number one, I don't know what to write about, and that's a biggie. I'm going to totally solve that for you on tonight's beta member call. And number two, I don't have the time. And same thing, that's a really valid question, because in last week's call, limiting beliefs, that was one limiting belief that beta member, I'm going to mention you again, Jimmy, because you're a great example, man. You're pushing forward with stuff. Was I don't have the time. And this is a fear, frustration, limiting belief that a lot of people have, is that they don't have the time to implement what they need to implement. But I'm going to show you how to make your time more effective and how to make it easier. So really, this whole process takes you maybe 30 minutes to an hour a week is all, and you get great results from it. So here's a quick exercise. Make sure if you're on another web page, like if you're surfing the internet, looking at Facebook or whatever, switch over to the presentation right now, shut off Facebook, shut off Google, all that kind of stuff, and pay attention because you have to look at the picture for this exercise to work. So a quick exercise for you. Look at this picture, and I'm going to give you like 5 seconds. See sky, clouds, flowers, mountains, prairie, snow. You got it? So what I want you to do is in the next 5 seconds, think of 4 specific blog posts that you can write on this picture. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So do you have those 5 ideas? You may or may not. Now keep those 5 ideas in your mind. Stop thinking about that last picture now. And this is going to illustrate a great point because this is exactly the problem I had and the problem that a lot of people have. So here's another picture. What's on this picture? There's a mountain on this picture, and you can see it's looking through like a tunnel. So name 5 blog posts or 3 blog posts you could write on a mountain. You could write on the trees in the mountain, how to climb a mountain, all this kind of stuff, the height of mountains. There's all kinds of stuff you can write on. So what this just now illustrated was essentially it was a lot easier, I'm sure, for you to think of specific ideas, specific content, or even specific things about a mountain. You know, I showed you this picture for the same amount of time I showed you the last one. But the main difference between this picture versus this one is this picture has a ton of stuff on it. When you look at this picture, there's so many different choices. There's a sky to write about. There's, once again, the clouds. There's mountains to write about, flowers, prairie, snow. I mean, if you had to choose what to write about on this, there's so many darn options that your mind starts to shut down and you don't know what the heck to write about. So what if I took all those words off this image and didn't even give you those suggestions? You'd probably be, I don't know what the heck to write about in this because there's so many different things to think about. And that's what we do when we're thinking about content as well. We're looking at the broad world of everything we could write about. And this is like the main reason we get writer's block. And this is exactly how to blast through this so you can get great content on your website quickly and easily without a lot of time. Is in our minds, the way our minds work is unless we are restricted, and I'm going to bounce this, unless we are restricted to think about one specific thing, our mind races to all kinds of different topics, and it's tough to make a choice then. So really, content, it's all about restricting your choices to unlock what I call brain block. So once again, bouncing back to here, this is a tunnel. You're given tunnel vision to one specific thing, a mountain. I am blocking and restricting your choices on what to write about in this picture on just a mountain. So now you're not distracted by the prairies, by the snow, by the sky, the clouds, by the flowers, by everything else. And you can think specifically, and you can write better and more detailed blog posts because your mind is restricted and thinking about just one topic. And I'm going to show you exactly how this relates to your real estate site here in a sec. But that's why our brains get blocked, is because usually when we're writing, we sit down at our table or our laptop with a blank slate and we're going, okay, what do I write about today? And then you sit there, and you sit there, and you sit there. You might think of stuff, and then you sit there again. And you might even write that article. Then you sit down next week and you do the exact same thing. Okay, what do I write about this week? And what you're doing is you're prolonging the entire process. So it's making your content writing take longer, so then you don't want to do it because it's taking up too much of your time. And also your content isn't as good because it's really not structured. It's just a bunch of random crap you're throwing on a website. So step one to really getting the content part of your website down, and let me tell you this, so if you own another business, it could be anything. If you own a cabinet store, if you if you're wanting to do affiliate marketing, there's a lot of investors who want to learn how to build a buyer's list, like a cash buyer's list, and then monetize that list by offering them great products where you earn a commission. And I'm going to teach you guys that in another training if you guys want to learn that. So if you want to learn how to earn revenue by being an affiliate, by being an online marketer as well, hit me through the questions panel, put a big old yes, I want to learn how to do that, whatever it is, and I'll make that another training, even though that's not something I was planning on. Because I know it's something that I've done, and it can be a really great revenue stream for you if you do it right. And you can help out your cash buyers reach their goals as well too. So, so what I'm going to show you isn't just for your real estate investor blog. This is for any website you ever want to start. It'll help you get great search engine rankings, put great traffic into things. So step one is to change your mindset. So once again, the big thing that a lot of people they have trouble with, they sit down and they don't know what to write about. So most people, the only time that they are in quote unquote content creation mode is when you sit down in front of your computer. And if you can relate to that you never think about content until you sit down to write it, then that's one of your problems, why you aren't putting out great content often, why it's hard for you, why you've probably stopped doing it or never even started doing it. And the big mindset shift is the fact that you're already creating content every day. Everything you're doing today is content. So let's say you made an offer on a house. That's a piece of content you could put. You could write a blog post on if you wanted to, or do a video on. Let's say you had a great Facebook comment on your Facebook page from one of your clients. That's a piece of content. Take a picture of that, put that on your blog, and write a quick, 5-sentence or 2-paragraph blog post on that, on a great customer experience from one of your members. You're going to look at a house. Take your camera, film yourself walking through and inspecting this house. That's something you can put on your cash buyer's blog of how to inspect an investment property. So you're actually filming yourself walking through, doing what you already had to do. It's not taking you any extra time. You're filming something you're already doing, but all you're doing is you're leveraging what you're already doing. You're not adding on any extra steps. You're just leveraging what you're already doing. Once again, you're talking to a motivated seller. Make a blog post out of that, because maybe the seller had these 4 objections. They had these 4 objections, and make a blog post out of writing a blog post out of each one of those objections on your motivated seller site. So now you're helping to combat those objections on your website with a blog post, and it's great content. You're seen as an expert. So switch that mindset to where everything you do, think of that as a particular content piece, and all you want to do is go, okay, I'm already doing this stuff. How do I get it out to the world so it can benefit more people? And that's really what you need to be doing. How can I get what I'm already doing every day out to the world so it can benefit more people? And benefiting more people could show them how to do something, and I'm going to show you here later, or it could even be just make it funny, make it refreshing. So once you make the mindset shift where you're always thinking about, oh man, that would be a great blog post. Oh shoot, I'm going to a property now. Let's film this. Or I just closed this property. Let's film me going over and talking with the buyer and kind of getting their feedback on the property and their experience and getting that and putting it online. We have a member who actually, his name is Rob. He's here in Portland, Oregon. I've known him for actually about 2 years since he joined our program called Private Money Blueprint when I was involved in that company. I actually sold my half of that company this summer because I wanted to focus more on the technology side of things because that's what I'm really passionate about. But Rob, he does really, really great stuff on his blog on the personal side of things. So he has an awesome video that he put up there a few weeks ago where he sat down and he's talking to one of his motivated sellers. And he's talking to them and saying, hey, what, excuse me, what was your thought process? How'd you find us? What were you scared of? What was your experience? And that's a blog post he put up, and that's awesome credibility. That's awesome stuff for building your expertise. So then step 2, once you're already thinking about content, all we got to do, we just have to simply lay out a plan to get that content out online and create a structure to where it's really easy so you almost don't have to think about what content you're writing this week. And that's really my goal is anytime I have a website up, I go through the exact same steps I'm going to show you. They're not very hard at all. They're pretty quick and simple. And then I lay out this plan that I'm going to show you. So I know every Thursday I'm going to write a blog post about this. There's never any guessing. Really easy. So laying out a plan. So here's the 3 things I really feel are a part of laying out the plan. So what types of content can you write? I'm going to show you a bunch of different types of content you can write. Choose what I call your content pillars. And these are really important. And these are one of my big secrets. I've taught this to other people in the real estate space, other bloggers. I've taught this one thing to people, and it totally opened up their mind and made it to where they were saving 20, 30, 40% of their time every week on the content creation because they don't have to think about it as much, and they're actually writing better content. And they're getting more traffic because of it. And then the third thing is putting them on a calendar. And this is also a big key. Is for me, I have to have stuff scheduled. If I don't have stuff scheduled, it's not going to be done. And that's how most people are too. So that's the third part, is content ideas, choose your content pillar, and then we're going to put them onto a calendar that you can have other people help you actually get the content done if you want. So write this stuff down, and once again, you will have these slides in the beta members area. And I'm also going to have some worksheets in there for you with this presentation, so you can, after this call later this week, print out this 1 or 2 page worksheet and go through it, and by the end of it you'll have this entire exercise done, and you'll have your content ideas created for the next several months. So there's 3 types of content that you should really have on your website. And number 1 is the cornerstone content, and this is really where most of your content is going to be. Most of your content is going to be what I call cornerstone stuff, and I'm going to show you what cornerstone content is. The second type of content is personal content, and you might maybe 10 or 25% of your blog posts are personal stuff. And I'm going to show you real world examples of one of the fastest growing real estate investment companies in the U.S. They're here in Oregon. They're an hour away from me, called Gorilla Capital, and they're one of the fastest growing real estate investment companies in the U.S. And they put personal content on their blog. And I'm going to show you what this means and the benefits that you get from doing that. Because a lot of people are scared about the personal content thing, but once again, that builds your expertise and it humanizes you and your company, so people want to work with you. And then number 3, I call this spicy content. So you got that crazy little pepper there. 10 to 20% of your content maybe is spicy content, and this is stuff I really like to write. Spicy content, I think it's fun. It's really fun, and the cool thing about spicy content is your spicy content can be some of it can be some of the largest trafficked blog posts you get on your website. And I've actually written spicy content that has given me influxes of traffic that were huge. And spicy content is the stuff that will get you could get your blog published on the big websites like a Wall Street Journal or something like that. Cornerstone content and personal content isn't going to get you there, but cornerstone content and personal content are what builds your expertise on your website and what really helps you to get more clients. So number 1, cornerstone content. Cornerstone content is what your site and your company are best known for. I just now thought of something, guys and gals. So for some reason it flashed through my mind that I promised you guys a tour of the loft today. So maybe after this, if my Wi-Fi will hold up, I'll give you guys a quick tour. Otherwise, I'll shoot a video after this and put it on the blog for you guys to check out. Because the Wi-Fi might be kind of spotty and we might drop the webinar. But so cornerstone content. So what's your site company best known for? This is the main stuff you're going to put up on your site. So what is cornerstone content? This could be stuff like free guides, like the stop foreclosure guide that we wrote that you guys have on your motivated seller sites. That's cornerstone content. That attracts visitors and that can attract leads. Real estate market reports. That's one of my favorite things to do. So people always ask about, what should I be writing about on my real estate investor blog? One of the easiest darn things to write about, but something that gets solid traffic and shows your expertise, is a monthly real estate market report on your city or on your area. And I'm going to show you where to get these numbers. You don't have to make those numbers up. All you got to do is go to this website. I'm going to show you to find them. You just have to stockpile them, throw them into a blog post that you write. It takes 30 minutes. And that's a monthly piece of content that can get you good traffic. And on the REI Brain website, all that website is, that website started out as my personal blog talking about what I was doing in real estate. So if you were to go back in the archives, like all the way to 2006 and 2007, you'll see what I started writing about. You can even find my very first blog post in there. And you can see what I started writing about. It was about the stuff I'm showing you tonight. It was cornerstone content, it was personal stuff, all kinds of stuff. That's what started my traffic. And that really is the entire thing that started all of my online expertise, was doing this little blog, starting off with a few blog posts, getting really no decent traffic for months. And then once I had enough blog posts, bam, things started to happen. And now that website We get about 50 to 75 opt-ins a day of people, mostly people who own investment properties. So if I wanted to turn that into a cash buyers list, we have an email list there of 10, 20,000 people now. And if I wanted to turn that into a cash buyers list, I could really, really easily. You guys can use the exact same methods for your real estate investment website. And real estate stats reports are one of the ways that we get a lot of traffic. Posts about your projects, your deals, how-to info. I'm going to show you specific how-to info ideas that you can just take and run with and write. So that's your cornerstone content. This is the stuff that's going to make up probably 50 to 75% of your blog posts right here. And that's number one. So start thinking about what kind of cornerstone content you can write about. I'm going to give you real ideas here in a little bit. So number two, personal content. So once again, share some personal stuff. Builds credibility in the human side of your brand. So once again, if you have another website, if you're selling cabinets, you should be putting some personal content on there. And I'll show you what personal content means. It doesn't mean you have to be posting, the pictures of the delivery room when you're having your second child. That's probably too personal. But personal content could be videos of you talking with your clients, like that one I was talking about with Rob, my buddy in Portland, who's also an REItheme member. Your wedding anniversary, heck, I mean, this is pretty personal. You don't have to be typing this kind of thing, but it really helps build the bond with your people. So let's say you have a cash buyer's website, and you have a cash buyer list, and they go to your website, they know you posted a blog, and it's on your anniversary. They can see some cool stuff that's happening in your life, so they feel like they know you more now. And people like to work with people that they know, so they're probably more apt to call you because they feel that they know you versus your competitors. And same thing on your motivated seller side. I mean, this humanizes you big time. If you have something about your wedding anniversary in a blog post, and this person's going through your website, and they're looking at the website to see if you're someone that they want to work with, and there's a post about your anniversary and how it's your 10th anniversary or 20th anniversary, whatever it is, and your wedding anniversary, and you're so thankful for your spouse for all the support that they've given you and helping you grow your company to help people sell their homes faster, to help people stop foreclosure. Like, tie those personal events to the story that you're telling on your website. Sharing information about your favorite realtor reviewers. So this is a biggie. This works in multiple. This gives you multiple benefits. So write a blog post on your favorite real estate agent, and it could be 5 things to look for in a great real estate agent. And then write about your real estate agent and how you really like them, and link to their blog. That's going to give them a really cool, warm and fuzzy feeling, and they're probably going to be more apt to send people to you because you really like them and you posted that publicly. They might even put a link to your blog on their blog now because it's great information about them that they want their website visitors to see. Mindset stuff. I don't care who you are and what market you are. Everybody wants personal growth. Everybody wants motivation and inspiration in their day. And if you can give people that motivation, that inspiration, that's awesome. That's why we did last week. REItheme is a technical product. It's a technology product. But why did we go over limiting beliefs and mindset last week? Because it helps. Everybody wants it. Everybody needs it. And everybody loves doing that kind of stuff. So put that kind of stuff on your website. You could take that limiting beliefs thing and put it on your motivated seller site and have a limiting beliefs blog post on something that helps a person in foreclosure squash some of those limiting beliefs that got them into that financial position in the first place. That right there could be enough to help resonate with that person selling their home and go, man, I never even thought about this. I totally wasn't expecting to find this in the website, but I really like these guys. I'm going to give them a call. Stuff about your hobbies, whatever. Just it's wide open what you can put on your blog, and it really makes it fun too, because then you start to build an audience of people, which is cool. You can interact with people. So spicy content. Once again, this is something. It's going to be a lower part of your content plan, and honestly, not everybody is going to want to do spicy content. Not everybody is going to do it because it does take a little bit more thought. But the cool thing is, once again, this spicy content is what can really get you great traffic, and it could get you press mentions. Because let's say you had a really, really controversial post on something. I'm going to give you specific ideas and spicy content. But you had a really controversial post on something, and another blog picked it up, and then there's a whole conversation, and this other blog picked up the story that blog's doing. So now you're getting all these links to your website, which helps with SEO. And then Huffington Post or Wall Street Journal gets their news sources. The place that Huffington Post, Wall Street Journal, all kinds of online news sites get their news stories, which most people don't realize this, is they get a lot of their news stories from smaller blogs. And then a smaller blog that they monitor picks up your controversial post. The Huffington Post sees it, they post it on their website. You're getting tens of thousands of visitors on your website in a matter of days, putting you as a big-time expert. Now you can say, as featured on the Huffington Post on your website, or as featured on Wall Street Journal. Can you imagine what that does for your credibility now? So you can put that on your business card. You can put that on your website. Huge, huge credibility builder. That's what spicy content does. So spicy content could be a rant on unethical investors. So do a rant and do a little expose kind of thing on unethical investors, what tactics unethical investors use, how people should look out for them, or it could even be the economic impact of unethical investors. That'd take a little bit of research to do. It'd probably be really interesting and fun. But that right there could be a really cool spicy content. You might do one of these every other month. You don't have to do them all the time. Every other month, once a quarter, or something like that. Talk about why the economists are wrong on real estate, but make it kind of a spicy rant, controversial kind of thing. Defy a long-held ideal. So what could this be? Let's say that a long-held ideal is that that banks are on the buyer's side or something like that. So do an expose on why banks are actually against the homeowner, if you want to. I'm not saying to do that. That might not be a good idea if you're looking to build friends with the banks. Make a prediction. So you can make a prediction on your local real estate market. So this is really cool with this. So after you're networking with your real estate agents and your mortgage brokers in your town, tons of agents and brokers, they already get the blog thing. They have blogs and they're blogging, and they're always looking for stuff to blog about too. So make a prediction. Post that blog post in your website. Go to those real estate agents and talk with them and the mortgage brokers locally, and talk with them and say, hey guys, here's a blog post I put up on our site. Check it out. It might be something that you want to spread to your readers. Then all of a sudden you get these mortgage brokers and real estate agents in your market linking to your local real estate prediction. Leverage a current news story. Like here's an example: why Obama, or you can say Romney, whatever one. Why Obama won't be good for the real estate market. 27 reasons why Obama is going to crush the real estate market if he's reelected. Something like that. And once again, I'm not like being political. You can do the same thing with Romney. That kind of stuff right there is kind of, I kind of like writing about that kind of stuff. And that is what gets news mentions, press mentions. That's what gets people to link to your website. And the more links you get, the more Google looks at it as a great website, so they're going to bump your search rankings up. And once again, the big blogs in your local, even your local news station and newspaper, read blogs for some of their news stories, so you can get picked up that way. Spicy content's cool. So those are the three types of content. That kind of gets your mind really going on the content side. So once again, we got spicy content, personal content, and then cornerstone content. So just always think about, okay, this right here, I'm going through a house on my cash buyer's website. What are some things that a cash buyer might be looking for? They might be curious on how to really evaluate a property, right? So I'm going to evaluate this property right now. Let's just write a blog post about that. That's cornerstone content once again. And then personal content, if something happens in your personal life or something happens with the business, which I'm going to show you some real examples of real investor websites like that Gorilla Capital here in a bit. Post that stuff on your website. Don't be afraid. It helps. And then spicy content. Once again, put this in the calendar every couple months and get really creative and get really fun with it, because this is the stuff that can really catapult you into expert status, not just locally but nationally, if you write the right blog post. And that's a whole nother training on how to write really compelling blog posts that polarize people. So that's a whole nother training. But Get these things in your mind. So the content pillars is really what changed the game for me. What really changed the game for creating content on my website. And once again, I started doing this, and I learned this with the reibrain.com website that you obviously know about and that you came from. And that website started with 0 visitors. Just like your websites right now, they have very little visitors, I'm sure, because they just now got up. But the way that it grew, it didn't grow by me just not doing nothing to the website. Because if I would have just kept the website up with just the 7 pages, the home page and some other pages, and never did a blog post, that website would probably still get 30, 40, 50 visitors a month. Maybe a couple hundred visitors a month. But that website gets 30,000 visitors a month now. And only about 5 to 10% of them land on the home page. The other 90% make it to my website because I had a blog post show up in a search ranking, and now they went on my website. Now they're on my email list. Like you guys, that's the exact process you guys came from. And this is because of the content pillars. So what content pillars are really, really simple. It's recurring content that you do every month. Recurring content you do each month. So you might ask, why would I want to do recurring content? You want to put recurring content pillars in place so you don't have to think. So it makes it easy. And what I mean by that is, here's this little 3-pillar thing. You can do as many as you want, but I suggest creating 3 content pillars. It's really simple. And here's some suggested content pillars that you can use for your website if you want. So what I mean by this is, let's say the content pillars is real estate stats. That's one pillar. So every single month, on the 3rd Wednesday of every month, you put it in your calendar, you're going to write a real estate stats report on your blog. That's one content pillar. You never have to think about what that blog post is going to be that week. Let's say you're going to do 4 blog posts a month, so 1 every week. That right there is going to take one of your blog posts every single month and make it to where you don't even have to think about it. You go to the same website every month, get the stats really quick, plug it into the same format for your post, put the post online, you're done. Max 20 minutes, max maybe even 15 minutes to get a real estate stats report done. Easy, easy, easy. Content pillar number 2, a how-to article. So I'm going to show you a bunch of ideas on specific how-to articles and how to think of your own how-to articles. So maybe for this, and let's assume you're going to do 4 blog posts a month, so 1 a week. The last week of that month is already taken care of. The last week is going to be a real estate stats report. So let's say we're going to come up with an article for the first week of every month. That's where the second pillar is, the how-to article. So I know the first Wednesday of every month, I'm going to post a how-to article, like how to evaluate a property, an investment property. That could be a great one on your cash buyer's website. For a motivated seller website, how to increase your credit score after a foreclosure, or how to save your credit if you're in foreclosure, or how to stop the foreclosure process, or how to sell your house fast. Whatever it is, that could be a how-to article. I usually start it with how-to in the actual title. So right there's 2 blog posts a month that you already know going into that next month exactly the topics you're going to write about. So this is what helps you create tunnel vision in your writing. This is what eliminates that writer's block. Because going into the month, you already know, okay, these ones I'm already going to write about. Now I just have to sit down and whip together these stats really quick, post it, done. How-to article. During the month, just think of, oh man, I could write an article on that, and put a note somewhere. Maybe you carry a notepad around with you, or put it in your notes of your phone or something like that. So you're just kind of stockpiling how-to article ideas. And then maybe another one could be an update on your business. So that's the 3rd Wednesday of every month now. Is you're just going to do a quick blog post on some type of update on your business. It could be a deal you just closed, so it should show the before and after. It could be that you just aligned with a new real estate agent, so that real estate agent's on your team now, and do a blog post on that. It could be the wedding anniversary thing, whatever it is. And then I always like to leave one open. But you could create 4 pillars if you wanted to, one for each article you're going to write that month, if you're going to do 4 articles. But for me, I like to do 3, and then I like to leave 1 open. So I just know on the second week, Wednesday of every month, it'll just be an open topic. It could be mindset stuff. Maybe you write mindset stuff on the second Wednesday. So I'm going to bounce out right now. I'm going to see if there's questions, because this right here is an important part of really eliminating that mind block. Cool. Let's go through some of these questions here. Awesome. So the affiliate thing, looks like a lot of you guys are wanting me to do some training on the affiliate marketing side of things. So I'll fit that in. It'll probably be about a month away, because really most people aren't even ready to do that. And another awesome thing, guys, we were working on this as well. Is we're going to give everybody who wants to do this, we're going to give you a jump start on your affiliate marketing. And in the cash buyer sequences that we have already written, we just need to get them to you so you can upload them into your autoresponder sequences. On the cash buyer sequence, it's 20 emails. We're adding another 5 emails that are pre-written for affiliate marketing for specific products that I myself have promoted and I myself have used because I really love them. So that way you guys already have a jump start on great email copy that I've already used myself that works. And then we'll just show you where to sign up as an affiliate. You get your link, plunk it in there, and then that goes in your autoresponder sequence. So now as you're building your cash buyers list, not only are you providing value, but you're also monetizing that list with affiliate products that are really high quality ones. So anyway, whole nother training. So questions. If there's no question, I'm going to bounce. Okay, so Patricia, can one maintain each blog that is added from week to week on their website? In essence, building a library of blog and information for the person looking at your site. If I gather what you're talking about here, so can one maintain each blog that is added from week to week on their website, in essence? But yeah, I mean, so the way that your website is currently built is it has a blog on it. You can choose to use a blog or not. We highly suggest that you do for the reasons we're talking about tonight. But what happens is when you post a blog post on your website, the most recent blog post that you put up there goes to the top. So if someone clicks blog and they see your blog page, the most recent blog post that you posted is at the top of that page. Then it shows your 5, 6, maybe 10 most recent posts after that. So that is how our system maintains that for you. It maintains that order. And then they can click categories if they want. So they can go to the different blog categories and read posts on those. So our system does that. If you wanted to do something else, let us know. We'll see if it makes sense. The slides will be sent. How about the verbiage? Verbiage. Not sure, Patricia. Can you please clarify with me on what you mean by verbiage? Okay, so Patricia, great question. How does one know if your spicy content blog post has been picked up by another publication? Honestly, there's a couple different ways. So inside of your website, and I can show you this, if someone links to your website, automatically the way our software works, if someone links to your website, you're going to get a notification on your website that someone linked to you. So then you can click through and see what website just linked to one of your articles. So automatically our system is monitoring the internet for you, and if someone links to your website, we tell you that. So you can see if someone picked up your post and linked to it. There's some ways, I don't have time to go into it tonight, but there's some ways to give yourself a way better chance to get picked up by these bigger sites or even local sites. And honestly, if you just start posting blog posts and aren't doing anything, if you're not going and talking with other real estate agents in your market and asking to do guest blog posts on their site, or I'm going to show you some ideas on getting content on your website, get your favorite real estate agent to write a guest post on your site for how to choose an investor-friendly real estate agent. So if you give them a chance to make a post on your site, they're probably going to let you do a blog post on their site. And that opens up that dialogue with your real estate agent. Do the same thing with your mortgage broker to where they're looking at your blog now, and they might start linking to your stuff. And same thing, go and post comments or articles on other websites. Biggerpockets.com is a great real estate investing information website, and they take guest contributors. They have like 15 real estate investors who are guest contributors who post maybe a couple articles a month on there, and they get traffic because of that. So that's a great way to get a blog picked up by other stuff. So that's a whole other conversation once again. So Jimmy, what if you're just starting out and do not have too many updates for your business? Man, I mean, that's up to you once again. I think the big thing is really thinking about things differently. So once again, it could be you're learning how to analyze properties. So once you learn how to analyze properties, do a blog post. This isn't really a personal update, but do a blog post for your cash buyers on how to analyze a property. If you're looking at properties, like you're going through and looking at properties, you can make a blog post on, we made 5 offers this week. Here's our criteria on what we are looking for to buy. So you can put that on your motivated seller site. So it's a blog post talking about the properties that you're looking at buying, and maybe you could even snap some pictures of properties that you drove by and say, hey, these are the types of properties that we're looking for and that we're buying. So even if you're not doing deals yet, you're pushing forward some type of action. Because if you're not pushing forward some type of action where you're not at least getting closer to making offers, or if you're not looking at properties, then honestly the only thing you should be researching on right now is how to get leads, or how to you should be going out there and only learning how to get 20 motivated seller leads this next month, so you can start actually getting active in making offers. Because if you're not making offers, then of course you're not doing deals. But write blog posts on all the stuff that you're learning right now, that kind of stuff. Maybe you just made a connection with a new realtor that you're gonna be working with. That could be a blog post on the quote-unquote personal/business side of things. Is a new member on our real estate acquisition team. Here is Sally, real estate agent, and here's a quick bio on her, and here's how she helps our team. That kind of stuff. So. Okay, cool. So Patricia, honestly, I on the verbiage, I take it from the hip. I don't write down anything. I totally take it from the hip. So you can go through and watch the video again to get what I'm saying. Lou, great question, man. I'm not going to be going into that tonight, but I can give you some ideas for sure. So at the end of tonight's training, I'll dive into that. Great question. So let me dive back over here. So once again, if everybody understands the content pillars part, this is really what's going to make doing content on your website easy. So figure out at least 3. I mean, if you're going to do 3 blog posts a month, awesome. If you're going to do 2 blog posts a month, just create 2 content pillars. So one blog post every month is a real estate stats report, and one is this other thing. So there's no thinking. If you're going to do 4, awesome, even better. If you're going to do 10 blog posts a month, awesome. You might have 4 content pillars, and then you could just do the other 6 blog posts or randomness or whatever it is, but just use content pillars as a good tool. So then once you got those content pillars in, all we need to do next, like simple stuff, and sometimes the simplest stuff is the easiest, is you schedule it. Put it on a darn calendar. And here's a screenshot of my Google Calendar from today. So this is like my up-to-date Google Calendar from today, and I like run my life off of it. So you can see the different colors. Just go play with Google Calendar. I have a personal calendar. I have a calendar for my business. I have a different calendar for each business. So you can see the different colors there. The blue is one business. The red is another one. The main ones are my personal. So schedule those in. You can see every Thursday and every Monday I have a blog post scheduled. So it's in my schedule. If I click that on my calendar, it'll bring up, okay, my Thursday post is a post on this, on mindset or whatever it is. So I know that Thursday I open up, what am I writing about? Oh yeah, that's right, this thing says it's a mindset. So I dive in and write a mindset post. So put it on your darn calendar. That's the big step that a lot of people are missing. They're just kind of taking it willy-nilly and thinking that they'll post blog posts whenever they think about it. But honestly, you're not going to do it if you do that. So schedule it. That's the next step after you think of those content pillars. And some ideas here on when to post, because that's a biggie. I've had some blog posts. It's like when I first started doing blog posts for REI Brain, and I started doing for my real estate company and other businesses since then, because I use the exact same process in every business I start. to get traffic to my website with blogs. One of the first things I do is go, okay, when do I need to write and post these blog posts, right? And that's probably going through your mind. What day should I post them? What time? Well, here's what I've found works pretty well. So Mondays through Thursdays are usually a really good time to post a blog post. Fridays are not good, usually. I'm just going to say usually, because most people are gearing up to have their weekend, so they're usually not wanting to read blog posts. They're trying to get out of the office, or they're already out of town. So you want to be posting blog posts when the most amount of people are going to have a chance to see that blog post that you just put up today. And also, once again, going back to the whole Google thing, Google looks for freshness in search results. So if you were to go, let's do this actually. I'm going to bounce to the internet right now. So let's go to Google just to illustrate this right here. So let's go to Google and let's do real estate market trends. I'm just going to put this in and I'm just going to hit enter. Let's see. News. Okay. Yeah, these aren't good examples because they're not showing those. But what happens in a lot of search results is it'll actually show the time when that blog post was put up. So right here you can see right here CNN Money picked up this article and it was posted 7 hours ago. So this one right here 5 hours ago. So Google does look at the recency of stuff, and once again, in this right here, it grabs this through its Google News deal. So if you look over here on the side, there's this News button. So it grabs this from Google News. And there's some different ways to get into the Google News. To have Google News look at your website for real estate news. There's some criteria. You can go to the Google News thing, or Google. Just go to Google and type up how to get into Google News, how to get my website on Google News, and it'll tell you the criteria. But you have to be posting a certain amount of blog posts a week, and usually it's like 5 blog posts a week, so it's quite a bit. And they have to be certain length and whatnot, and then they'll start looking at your website to put you on here. But long story short, the recency part's a big part of it. I'm going to bounce back over here. So what I wanted to illustrate with that was, if you know that the most amount of people are looking for your topic on a Monday, you're going to want to post on a Monday, because once again, Google looks at the recency of stuff, and it'll post up stuff that was posted today more quickly than they'll post stuff that was posted 10 years ago. So Mondays through Thursdays, those are great times. Once again, okay, accidentally clicked the link. Around 11 o'clock your time, like 11 a.m. is a great time to actually post it. So you don't have to get too technical with this. It really doesn't matter if you post it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 5 or 8 a.m. in the morning. But as I'll show you below, see that graph below, I'm going to show you why on this particular website, which is the reibrain.com, why we post our blog posts at 11 a.m. now. And we didn't do it on accident. We did it because our stats showed us that that's what we need to do. And then ideally once a week or twice a month. Once again, ideally you're posting 4 blog posts a month, which is once a week. If you can do more, awesome. You're going to be getting more traffic and all kinds of cool benefits from it. Minimum, do it twice a month. But let me bounce out and show you this. I'm going to go to Google Analytics, and hopefully you all have Google Analytics set up on your website. Let's go find Google Analytics. Okay, right here. If you don't have a Google Analytics account, just go to Google and type up Google Analytics. It's free, and it'll take you here. You set up a Google Analytics account, and all you do is you tie it to your website. So you go set it up. You say, I want to track XYZ website. It'll give you a little piece of code, and then you take that piece of code and you go to your REItheme website and you put it in there. And we can do it for you. If you want to email us that code and tell us, hey, put this on this website, we'll do it for you if you want. And the benefit of that is it's going to give you some insanely detailed statistics that'll help you if you really want to get in-depth and detailed in your traffic and know where your traffic is coming from and what people are liking and what they're not liking. This will do this. But what I did was I just went into here. I went to the content area. I went to overview, and you can see this. This is for the REI Brain website. I'm just using this as an example. So it's got a lot of page views in the last month, but it's got this little thing right here. So I changed it to hourly. And this is how we found out to post our blog posts at about 11 a.m. on this website. So I'm just going to hover over. You can see this is the amount of traffic on an hourly basis. So it goes up and down. And every website's going to be like that. Your website's going to have a trend, a cyclical trend when people are going to be on your website and when they're not. And it's going to be different than this website. Every target prospect is going to be different. Like for instance, maybe a person who's going into foreclosure is more apt to be online searching the internet late at night. It might be 2 in the morning when they're up thinking about this kind of stuff. And that might be when you're getting a decent amount of traffic. Because that's when someone who's in foreclosure, they're desperate. They're looking for a solution late at night. But the way you find that out is plug Google Analytics in and look at your stats once you get a little bit of traffic. But you can see here, so I'm hovering over the very top, and it says Monday, September 10th, 2012 at 1300. So 1300, of course, is, what is that? That's 1 o'clock. So about 1 o'clock is when this day got the most traffic. Let's bounce to the next one. This one was at 10 o'clock. So we're seeing it. What we're doing is we're building a range. This one over here, this was at 11. This one over here at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. This is a different part of the day. Let me bounce back to here. So there's 1 o'clock again. And you can kind of see where I'm getting with this guy. So 10 o'clock. 10 again. Bounce over here. 12 o'clock. I'm going to go way over here toward the end of the month. So you can see at different times of the month, 10 o'clock. So almost the vast majority of our traffic comes between 10 o'clock in the morning and 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's when we want to post our blog post. It's a really, really simple way so you're not having to guess what to do. But once again, I mean, you don't need to worry about this stuff too much, especially starting out, because starting out you're not going to have much traffic at all. But it does help put it on your calendar. Okay, at 11 a.m. on every Wednesday of the month is when I'm going to have a blog post rolled out. So here's how I write my content now, and here's how you can do the same thing. And really, it's a commitment of maybe 30 to 45 minutes a week max, maybe even less. If you want to get really detailed in some of your blog posts, like if you wanted to write one of those spicy content posts and be really controversial, and maybe it's something you did some research on, you're going to put more than 30 minutes in for that. But most of the personal stuff and the cornerstone content, most of that stuff you're going to whip through in 20, 30 minutes, maybe 45, maybe an hour max a week. So you're talking a 2 hour to 4 hour max time commitment a month to get all of your content, which is going to help give you an edge, and it's going to help set you as an expert in your area. Which building yourself as an expert in your area is how you can charge more. It's how you work with the best people in your area. It's how people come to you. It's how you get quoted in the media, in your local news, which gives you more credibility. Your local newspaper, your local news station, they want to work with the experts. So if they need a sound bite, or if they want to interview someone on the real estate market or on foreclosures, they're going to go to the internet and find the foreclosure expert in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And if your website's popping up, they read it, they see that you're putting great content on there, and you're going to be the expert that they're going to interview, which gives you great free press. So how do I write my content? First of all, look at that calendar we just created. So once again, you've got your content pillars already chosen. That literally can take 5 minutes. You can do that right now. You can use the ones I just showed. Then put those on the calendar. So choose when you want to post a blog post, and do this tonight. Like put these on your calendar tonight or tomorrow. If you're going to commit to one a week, which I say do it. You know, just really fully commit and do it. Put that on your calendar in the next day or so. So the first thing I do is I look at my calendar. Okay, I have a blog post coming up this Thursday. I always look at my calendar Sunday night so I know what's happening that next week for me. And then what I do is I see what pillar I'm writing about on that specific day. So once again, I know if I'm going into the last week of the month and my content pillar for the fourth Wednesday of every month is a real estate stats report, and I look at my calendar on Sunday, and this is just like regular calendar. I'm not like saying I'm creating a new calendar just for content. You're plugging this just into your agenda every week. So that narrows my focus, and I know, okay, awesome. I just pound this out really quick. I can get this up. I can get this done on Tuesday, schedule it to be posted on Wednesday. And that's a really cool function that you have in your REItheme website. Is let's say you wanted to write all of your content in one day. Let's say it was a Saturday and you felt like you were just raring and ready to go and you were having a great writing day. Write all 4 of your blog posts that day. And you can go into your blog area, and rather than clicking publish, you can click a date in the future, a date and time in the future, where our system will automatically post that for you. So once again, if you want to batch your posts and then pre-schedule them to go live at a time in the future, do it. Have it done. I mean, that's an awesome time management feature, and that is available in the system for you. After I look at it and narrow my focus, I use the idea list. I'm going to show you in the next page. This is the exact same one I use to jumpstart my brain on, okay, I know I'm writing about a how-to this week. Now, how do I actually want to write the how-to? I'm going to show you my idea list. And then number 4, sit down and write 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever it is. Write a 300 to 500 word blog post. If you want to write a longer one, that's a good thing, because Google likes content that's long and comprehensive. But 300 to 500 words is a really optimal size. Any less than that, it's not going to be that awesome. 300 to 500 words kind of the sweet spot. If you want to write more, awesome, it's even better. And that's it. I mean, look at my calendar that I created. Look at what pillar I'm writing about. Use the idea list in the next page, and I sit down and write, publish it, done. Simple stuff. So here's some idea swipes, and you can write these down, but also I'm going to have some downloads once again in the members area. It's probably going to be up this weekend. I'm going to try to get it before we hit the road down to California. But lists. So you've probably seen these before, and people really like them. A list can be just like this example: top 7 investor-friendly real estate agents in Knoxville. So that could be a great blog post. So once again, if you're just going to write, heck, maybe one of your content pillars could be lists. That could be one of your pillars. So the third Wednesday of every month, if you're choosing to do your blog post on Wednesday, the third Wednesday of every month is a list. So now you think, okay, what can I write a list on this Wednesday? Real estate agents, awesome. Top 7 investor-friendly agents in Knoxville, or top 3, whatever it is. List, next month your list thing comes up. Lists. The top 21 things to look at when you're looking at an investment property in Phoenix, and then go through and show the 21 things that you think investors should look for when they're looking at a property, stuff like that. A how-to guide. So this is cornerstone content. I'm going to give you a ton of ideas for how-to guides, for how-to stuff. If it's your cash buyer website, your main company credibility site, how to analyze an investment property. And you're probably thinking, why the heck why would I teach people how to analyze an investment property? I'm trying to sell them properties. Well, what really helps me to think of even more content and to really broaden the possibilities is, okay, think of the person who's going to be on your website. So once again, if it's your cash buyer website or your main company site that also helps attract cash buyers or whatever, think of, okay, what does a cash buyer need to do in order to buy a property? Well, they need to have funding. So I could write a whole series of blog posts on funding, how to find private lenders, the top 4 banks to work with for real estate investors in Portland, Oregon. These are like different things that I can write about around funding. So what's another thing that a person who's looking to buy properties from me would also need to know, or that they're also wanting to learn, or they need to learn? They would need to learn how to actually analyze a deal to see if it's a deal. They would need to learn how to find tenants if they're looking at renting the properties. They would want to know how to inspect the property. They might want to know how to find a quality contractor to help them do a rehab project on an investment property. So all of these can be content ideas, that the cool thing is when you really start to think like this, the cool thing is, let's say this cash buyer who isn't even on your website yet, they've never heard of you. They go to the internet, they type up how to analyze an investment property. And they're in Phoenix, you're in Phoenix, and your blog post pops up. They go through, you're teaching them how to analyze an investment property. And then on the site, they see, well, discount properties in Phoenix. Well, I can join this list and get discount properties. Awesome. I'm already looking for investment properties. That's why I want to learn how to analyze them. They go join your buyers list now. So that's really the thought process that you want to take when you're thinking of content, and when you're really thinking of why you're even going to be posting content and what that content's going to help you do. Once again, so how-to guides, commentary on news, example, why Obama could ruin our real estate market, or Romney, or whatever. Summarizing a news story you found. So that's one of my favorite things to do, and you can actually have a virtual assistant or like an intern do this for you. Just one of your pillars every month could be the top real estate news for the month. So the top 7 real estate news stories in August, and then you have these certain websites. I'm going to give you the websites, some of the websites I use to find news stories, and then we just summarize them. We get the idea from Wall Street Journal, we summarize it, and then we link back to the Wall Street Journal as our source. Dispelling a myth. Why foreclosure may not be a killer to your credit. Like, that's something right there. So if you landed on a website, if you were in foreclosure and you landed on a website where on the homepage of your website, which on the homepage of your REItheme websites, we have a little what we call widget, which can pull your most recent blog posts in. So people can see your most recent blog posts in the sidebar of your website. You can choose to have that on or not. And if you have a little thing that says why foreclosure may not be a killer to your credit, because it's a recent blog post you wrote, and someone who's in foreclosure is on your site and they see that thing in your sidebar, they're going to click it because they want to see, man, I thought my credit was going to be toast. They go through and read a blog post, and you're showing them what actually happens to your credit. And honestly, yeah, it's going to hurt the heck out of your credit no matter what if you go through foreclosure. But there's certain things that, if you have an extremely high foreclosure or high credit rating, if you have a really high credit rating and you go through foreclosure, you're still going to have a decent credit rating. It's still not going to be good, but it's not going to be as bad as you think. Interview other experts. So once again, go to your real estate agents, go to your mortgage brokers, go to your inspectors, your appraisers, and interview them. So do a video or hop on a conference line, freeconferencecall.com, and do a quick 10, 15, 20-minute interview on the real estate market. So this right here could be a content pillar. So instead of you going and writing, finding the stats, which I'm going to show you where to find the real estate stats if you want that to be a content pillar, get together with your real estate agent and do a monthly call with him, a 10-minute call where it's an update on the Phoenix real estate market. And you post that on your website. They post it on theirs. So now their website is generating traffic for you, because when someone goes and listens to that call, it's just a recording, an MP3. It's, hey, this is Tyler with RSI Investments, and hey, this is Mark with blah 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 real estate agents. We're going to talk about the real estate market in August for the Palm Beach County area. So it's going to be building the brand for both. Interview your clients. So big thing. Once again, your motivated sellers, do a quick interview with them at the closing table. Your private lenders, your cash buyers, do interviews with them. Get them on the phone, do a video with them, post that stuff. Comparison of products, of reviews. So here's a great one. I'm just totally throwing ideas out at you guys and gals. So here's a really great idea for your main company site or cash buyer site. There's a lot of different self-directed IRA companies out there. And if someone is looking at getting a self-directed IRA, one of the first things they're going to do is they're probably going to go to Google and type up reviews of self-directed IRA companies. And you can go to the Google keyword tool like we've shown you and type it in and see how many people are typing it. And if you can rank well for reviews of self-directed IRA companies, and then show the top 4 companies and then the ones that, and just do a review on them. that'd be a great blog post, great content. It's attracting people who are looking at setting up a self-directed IRA, which are perfect people for you, who could be buying properties from you or who could be loaning you money. So that's what I really want to get across to you, is we're not just putting content up just to randomly put content up. Of course, content is great, once again, to build your expertise. It's great to build your credibility once someone lands on your site. But if you do content the way I'm showing you, this content's actually going to attract more visitors to your website that never would have got there before if you didn't do it in this strategic way I'm showing you. So once again, you do a review on Entrust, self-directed IRA company, and then it's a whole review, maybe even a video on Entrust. So who do you think is going to land on that blog post? It's going to be someone who's looking at setting up a self-directed IRA. What is that person to you? They could be a cash buyer, they could be a private lender. Once they're on your website, hopefully they'll be compelled to opt into your list. So that's what we're really looking to do, and that's how you generate leads with this type of content. Challenges, you can challenge your readers to do something. Behind the scenes stuff, so there's really cool behind the scenes stuff you can do. Show a new bandit sign that you guys are putting up, and a picture of you setting one up on the corner or whatever, and talk about how you guys are expanding into this other area. I don't know, whatever you want to do. That you brought on some new people onto the quote-unquote team. Could be a new agent, new mortgage broker, whatever. It could even be just fun stuff, kind of funny, quirky stuff that you guys put up there. So that's what I do after I look at my calendar. I see what content pillar I'm writing about for the day. And then once again, I look through that little list of ideas and I go, okay, I'm writing a how-to today. Let's do it on da-da-da, whatever. Or, just look at this. This is ways to write content. So if you're doing a list, top 7 investor-friendly real estate agents, you would do, hey, here's a lot of people asking about what real estate agents to work with in Phoenix. And if you're a real estate investor, there's a lot of different agents who say that they're investor-friendly, but as you know, they're not. So what we've done through our experience is I've compiled the 7 real estate agents that I've worked with that I've found who are investor-friendly. Then you just do number 1, here's the name, describe what you think about it. Number 2, blah, blah, blah. And then you cap it off with the conclusion at the end, done. So with the content, so now you know what you're going to write about. You have the idea. You're going to write a real estate stats report. So now you're actually going to your website now, and you're going to be writing the content. So that's the next step. And once again, the whole process that I've taken you through so far is really, really simple. And you'll find once you implement it, it'll be way easier. But then now we need to sit down and write the content. So there's a certain way that you should write the content. Write it in a personal manner, and I don't really have any slide for this. I'm just going to kind of wing it right now. But your blog post should be kind of written in a conversational tone. Don't make it sound like you're a Harvard professor in economics, because most people are not Harvard professors in economics. Most people are just normal people like you and me. So write like you're talking to your friend. You could use slang, you could use jargon, you could use all that kind of stuff. Just talk in a conversational manner. And then go into that blog post. If you're planning on having that blog post be one that you want to maybe rank for a keyword, which not all blog posts have to rank for a keyword once again. Let's say you were doing a personal post on that wedding anniversary thing. You can care less if that one gets ranked in the search engines or not. That's mainly for someone, if they land on your site, they're going to see that there's a human aspect of it. But there's certain blog posts that you really do want to put a few extra minutes into to help make it rank well for a certain term, which helps you get in the search engines, gets more traffic, gets you more leads. So here's an example. I just pulled this up right before the call, took a screenshot of it and put it on there. So Kenosha, Wisconsin real estate market statistics, July 2012. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about long tail keywords. And that's what we talked about earlier. So I could have put real estate statistics as the title of that blog post, and it never would have got ranked anywhere. But you can see this one for Kenosha, Wisconsin real estate market statistics, July 2012. It's the #1 search ranking. Is one of our members' websites, and we're actually writing the content for him. He kind of helped us create this new program where he's like, man, I don't want to write this content. Can you guys write it for us? So he hired us to write the content for him, and we're kind of testing that program out with him before we offer it to other people, because it is an extra expense, but that way we write it. So anyway, what we did is we titled the blog post Kenosha, Wisconsin Real Estate Statistics or Real Estate Market Statistics, July 2012. And then next month in August, it's the exact same thing, August 2012. Next month, exact same thing, September 2012. So that way you have a format on all of your real estate market stats reports to make the title, because that's what someone is going to be going to Google and typing in. They're going to be typing in real estate statistics or the real estate market update for Phoenix, Arizona, August 2012, because people are going to be searching for a specific time period is what they're going to do. That's why we put July 2012 in. So to get it ranked in Google, that's the biggie. Just like the title tag we talked about on the homepage, how you never want that just to be your company name or something, because that's not going to help you with SEO. You want the title tag in your homepage to be your main phrase keyword. So if you're wanting to rank well for if you're selling investment properties in Phoenix, you want your title tag in your homepage of your website to be investment properties in Phoenix. Same thing with blogs. So if you want to rank well for how to analyze a multifamily property, because that's probably what somebody would actually type into Google to find that information, you would title it How to Analyze a Multifamily Property. And people searching that are going to get your website popping up. And the second thing is the keywords in your blog posts. And I can take you guys into the blog area if you want of your websites and show you where this stuff is. But honestly, there's videos in the members.REitheme.com training area to show you how to do this. But if you log into, let's go ahead and do it since we're on here. I'm just going to go to I'm just going to go to this sample site once again that we've got rolling, just to show you guys on the blog post part of it in our technology. And we've already got rolling some cool updates for you guys and gals based on your feedback. So we're hitting things hard, and we'll let you know as new things are updated. So when you're going to want to write a blog post, you just go to here, go to posts, add new post. And then, like I said, if you're wanting to rank well for your content pillar of a real estate stats report, I'm just going to show you this. So I'm going to go over to Google. Okay, I have a screenshot of it somewhere else. I already tried a new search. But what we're going to do is, this is where you type in that title. So this is the quote-unquote title tag of this page. Market for Phoenix, Arizona, July 2012. So that's where you would put that title, and that title was, if you do your research, is going to help you do rank well for it. And then you go through, type your thing, put it through pictures. You might use this word again, but in a different way. Phoenix real estate market update in July, whatever it is. So you're just typing the information. After you get done typing the content, you're going to then go through and categorize it, and you'll probably want to create a different category for every pillar that you create. So I've got one here called real estate market statistics, real estate news, mortgage rates, that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to do real estate market statistics, and then there's this tags area. This right here helps you with SEO big time, because Google looks through, and all tags are phrases that are related to your post, so topics of your post. So this is where you would put real estate market, real estate stats, real estate statistics, and all we're doing here is, once again, we're thinking of what are like all the different things that people could be typing into Google to get this information I'm doing. A Las Vegas real estate market. You kind of get the drift. So you add those. Then you go ahead and click publish. I saw a question come through, so let's. Okay, cool. So Jimmy, good question. So where do you get good pictures for your blog posts without taking them without permission? Great question, man. And this isn't something I plan on talking about, but the first thing most people do is they go to Google Images and they type that in, and that's the exact wrong thing to do. Because I can tell you from firsthand experience, I learned it the hard way, because I got delivered with a cease and desist order from one of the big image websites out there, and a $700 attorney letter saying that I owed him $700 for the image that I didn't use with permission. So I settled for less than that, but from experience, that's what I've learned. So places you can find good images. Here's a place we use for like almost all the images on reibrain.com come off of this. It's called clipart.com, and it's pretty cheap. I mean, it's like $100 a year, and you can use unlimited images on here. So let's say you wanted to find one on a for sale sign, and they don't just have clip art, so they're showing clip art there, but let's see. I never use clip art's hokey. I hate using clip art. So you can see there's like a for sale sign. There's all kinds of pictures in here. I mean, they have a ton of stuff. So clipart.com is what I personally use for a lot. And then here's another really killer one. God, what the heck is the name of it? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm let me go to Yahoo because Yahoo bought them. Oh, Flickr is what it is. So Flickr, I think it's called. So Flickr is essentially a place where people can share their own photos, and this is like a really cool spot that most people have no clue that you can even legally use some photos from here. So what you're going to do is, let's say I want to do a thing on. I was going to put real estate. I'll click search, and then this is kind of where the trick comes in. This is where the magic comes in. Now you're going to do advanced search. And what we're going to do is we're going to filter by people who essentially allow us to use their photos. So I'm going to scroll down. You can see right here this thing called Creative Commons. Creative Commons is essentially, if it's a Creative Commons license, they're saying, hey, you can use this picture on your website. So I'm going to do only search for within Creative Commons, and I'm just going to click search. That's going to filter out everything that I cannot use. Okay, so let's see this. There's all kinds of awesome images on here. I just put real estate in here. So here's a house right here. Man, look at that. So this could be a great post on the top 7 renovation blunders that most real estate investors make. You know, and it's a house that collapsed here. So then you just go ahead and like right click it. It's going to do, let's say I want to do this size picture. You bring it up, then you just use it. I mean, you right click this thing, copy image URL, and then you just put that in your blog post. So I'm just going to go over here into this. And this little thing right here, if you hover over it, it says add media. That's where you put pictures. So you just click that. And then add media. We allow you to add pictures several different ways. You can drag a picture in here from your desktop. You can choose a picture that you already have uploaded to your website, or you can just go ahead and go here from URL, and that's where you're just going to put this. So title, housing blunders, alternate text, real estate rehab mistakes, insert in the post. Let's say I want to make that a little bit smaller. Let's go into there, advanced settings, and let's say we want to shrink it down a little bit, about 70% of the size it is right now. And then what you'll want to do is with pictures you get off of Flickr, most of the time you want to give the person credit. So you want to put in a caption. A really quick and simple way in our system you can put in a caption. Image from, and then I like to just give the person, you know, Buckshot Jones on Flickr. Update. So you can see right there. So now image shot, blah blah blah. You see the picture. It's going to center this bad boy on the page. I'm just going to go ahead and publish it on this website since it's just like a website we play around with. And this is kind of illustrating the whole thing. So automatically our system creates a link, and that link we just essentially grab your title and make that your link, your title. Let's say you want to shrink it down. You can change the link on this if you want. Let's just say we want it to be just this. Delete that and click OK, and you've got it. Anyway, just so you guys know that there is that function. If you want to have your link be something specific, you can do that. You get the idea. So hopefully that answered that question, Jimmy. Okay, cool. Okay, let me fly through this, guys and gals. It's taking a little longer than I thought it would. Got a little bit more. And Lou, I'm going to get to your question here, man. In a jiffy. Okay, so that's the SEO side of it. Let me get out of this. Sorry, I need to put the little questions panel away. Okay, so examples of the long tail keyword stuff, just to kind of cement this in your mind once again. This is just a screenshot I grabbed from a search. So if you're going to search Queenstown, the town, you can see how many results come up, right? And results really means competitions. And what I mean by results is when someone goes to Google, how many other competing web pages are competing against your site. So a broad term, like I showed in that little cartoon earlier with the dinosaur, on the left side that was broad, and that's where you're competing against the most people. So Queenstown, the word Queenstown gets a lot of competition. And as you go down this list, you're getting into a long tail keyword. So at the very bottom, you might look at it going, man, there's only 294 competing web pages, and you probably go to the Google keyword tool and see that it gets hardly any searches, maybe 50 searches a month. But it's going to be way, way easier for you to rank probably number one or between number one and number three for wheelchair backpacker accommodation Queenstown dog allowed than the word Queenstown or the word backpacker accommodation Queenstown. And the people who are going to land on that, since they're searching for something specific and you're delivering something specific, are way more apt to actually buy something or work with you. So that just kind of illustrates why we like to use long tail keywords. And honestly, like I said, once you have 30, 40, 50 blog posts up, even 10, you're going to see pretty quickly that well over half of your traffic comes from your blog posts. That's a good thing. So here's a quick screenshot I took on the whole real estate market statistics keyword. So you can see the exact phrase that people are typing in, real estate market statistics. It's about 1,900 times a month. But this will help you kind of formulate what words you're going to use in your title for your real estate market statistics blog post. You can see right here, real estate trends is typed a lot. So you could do a blog post on real estate trends in Phoenix for 2012. That's going to help you rank well for that. You can see real estate market trends. So they just added the word market in there. That's another 12,000 people typing that. So you can do real estate market trends in Phoenix, Arizona, 2012. You can see real estate statistics gets searched 22,000 times a month. Then over on the right-hand side, you can see where it says local monthly searches. That, once again, that means where someone puts a city in. So we know people are typing real estate market or real estate statistics and then a city. So real estate statistics, Portland, Oregon. And then most of the time they're going to be typing in a date. So real estate statistics, statistics, Portland, Oregon, August 2012, or we're in October. So anyway, go to Google. You really use the Google keyword tool to help you formulate what those keywords should be for your title of your blog post. And I'm going to fly through this and give you real world websites that I use to go to get market stats. So number one, go to your real estate agent. It's just a great way to strike up a relationship with them, number one. If you don't have a real estate agent, this is a great way to strike up a relationship with them. Contact them and say, hey, we're a real estate investor locally, and we'd really love to team up with you and put out a local real estate market statistics report on our website. We'll link back to your website since you're giving us the info, but would you be the source of that info every month? And they'll just send you that info. You put it on your website, you link back to them, and they'll probably link back to you in the future. And it's forming a relationship then. And they'll probably ask, hey, what do you guys do? And then all of a sudden they're going to form that relationship. Zillow.com/local-info. Go there, type in a zip code, and you're going to find stats. Movoto.com/statistics, another one. And you can just find the one that gives you the best stats for your specific city. And every month, go to that same website and get the stats. Trulia.com/city. This is a really good one. So realtor.com/data-portal. Then you can see it right there. Write it down, or just go to realtor.com and type up real estate statistics, and it'll give you the page. But these are the places that we usually go to get stats. And if you're going to hire it out, if you don't want to write these articles, I'm going to show you how to hire it out really easily like we do most of the time. And what we do is we just send them to these websites. Say, hey, for every month for our real estate statistics report, check out these 2 sites, get this information from them, and write a blog post on it, please. So this is where you get your information. So here's some specific content ideas from you. So these are things that buyers would search for, so cash buyers. These are article ideas for you. Just kind of get your mind running. How to analyze deals. Once again, buyers need to know how to analyze deals. So write a blog post teaching people how to analyze a real estate deal. A buyer's probably going to need a move-in, move-out form if they're renting out the houses that they're wanting to buy from you. So if you can get someone to land on your website that needs a move-in, move-out form, give them yours, let them just download it, and title the blog post "Move-in, Move-Out Form Free," whatever it is, free move-in, move-out form for landlords. You're going to get traffic. I can tell you this personally because we get about 3,000 visits a month on one of my sites for this specific thing, a move-in, move-out form. And once they're on your site, they see, oh, discount properties. I'm going to join their list and pick up another property. How to find tenants. So write a blog post on how to find tenants if you know how. If you don't know how, go to a property manager in town, which is, once again, a really great way to build a relationship with the property manager. Film a 5-minute video, sit down with them, film a 5-minute video of them telling how to find tenants and put that online. Or write an article on it. How to estimate repairs. So same thing, these buyers are wanting to know this kind of stuff, so you want to be the source for that information. So you're the expert, they join your list and they buy properties from you. How to fund your deals. Investor-friendly agents in whatever your city is. Because I guarantee you cash buyers are typing that into Google because they're looking to find an investor-friendly agent in their city. So if you can be that search ranking, delivering them that info, they're going to join your buyers list. They're going to buy properties from you. Real estate market stats, investing with your IRA, things buyers would, or more things buyers would search for. Best investment property areas in city. So write a blog post called that. Map out the best areas in your city for investment properties. Once again, you're being the resource. They're going to join your buyers list. You can name some more, I'm sure, off the top of your head. Capital gains tax rates for your state. And this is another one from my personal experience. We get about 12,000 visitors a month on reibrain.com from people looking for capital gains tax rates because we have a blog post on that. Best property managers in your city, the whole thing. So things sellers would be searching for. So once again, these are just ideas to help you get content. So you can use these as your content ideas for the next 3 months. How to stop foreclosure. Write a blog post on how to stop foreclosure. How foreclosure affects credit scores. So go to Google, type up how foreclosure affects credit scores, go read some of the stuff on there, and then go write your own blog post based on the research you did. And then make it how foreclosure affects credit scores in Phoenix. Loan modification. Sellers are probably going to be looking for that. Give them information on what a loan modification is. How to sell my house fast in Phoenix. Write a blog post on 10 ways that someone can sell their house fast. The foreclosure process. Write a guide on what the foreclosure process is, because I guarantee you sellers want to know what that foreclosure process is, and they're searching Google. Selling to a real estate investor. Let's say they found your website or someone else's, and they're like, man, I don't know if I should sell to a real estate investor because I've heard they're scammy, because they see all the bad news in the news. They're going to go to Google and type up selling to a real estate investor. Should I sell to a real estate investor? Write a blog post called selling to a real estate investor. Walking away from my home. So this is an interesting one. Let me show you this. This is something that I never thought. So go here. I typed up walking away from my home in the Google keyword tool. You can see not many people type that, but what it does is it tells me 170 people a month type, should I walk away from my house? 110 a month, what happens if I walk away from my home? Walking away from a mortgage, 2,900 people. Can I walk away from my house? 3,200 people. Walk away from your home, 1,300 people. Walking away from your mortgage, there's thousands of people searching stuff around walking away from their home. So you can write a blog post on that. Walking away from my home in Phoenix. Can I walk away from my mortgage in Phoenix? Should I walk away from it? Use these exact keywords that I just showed you. Can I walk away from my house in Phoenix? That's a blog post, and write what the ramifications of that are. Avoiding realtor commissions. I can guarantee that's probably in here. I'm just going to go up here. This is turning into an epically long training, but I hope you guys are getting a lot out of it. Sparking your brain on content ideas. Avoiding realtor commissions. I have no clue, guys and gals, if this is even going to come up with anything. But this is the way that I think when I'm going to do content that I want to rank well. And once again, the reason you want content to rank well is because if you just posted that article on walking away from your home and you're getting 75 new visitors a month because that one article, and then you do this other article next week that you did your research and now it's getting 30 new visitors a month, then this other one that gets 500 visitors a month, all that adds up. Okay, so avoiding realtor commissions, nothing with that, but let's see. Yeah, I mean, you can do some more research. I'm sure there are people typing how to avoid realtor commissions or something like that. Debt counselors in your city, all kinds of stuff. So here's some ideas for private lenders. Investing in real estate with my IRA. 100% know people are typing that into Google. So type a blog post on that. Stock market updates. Fair interest rates. I'm sure people are curious on what a fair interest rate is. Write a blog post on fair interest rates to charge as a private lender. What is trust deed investing? If you're not familiar with that, trust deed investing is actually what private lending is, the technical term. And more people type trust deed investing in local markets than they are looking for private lending programs. They're looking for trust deed programs. Passive real estate investing, write an article on that. Private money lending, writing an article on what private money lending is. All kinds of cool stuff. So now you've got these content ideas, right? But you know that you don't want to do the content yourself. So how can you hire it out? This is the last section, guys and gals, then we'll part for the night if you guys don't have questions. But what we do a lot of the times is I'll create the content pillars. I create the content calendar. I go and find some websites that give me the information I need for that content, like those stats places I was showing you before, or Wall Street Journal, stuff like that. And then I choose which articles I want to write myself every month. So maybe I only want to write 1 or 2 articles a month, but I want to have 4 on my blog. So that means you need to have someone else write the other content for you. It could be a college kid, it could be a college intern, they could do it for free for you, or you can hire it out really cheap, and I'm going to show you how we hire that out myself. So here's a website that we use. We've tested lots of them. This is one that we've used that works well. It's called textbroker.com. So you can go to textbroker.com, and if you're going to have them write, let's say 2 to 4 blog posts a month, it's only going to cost you 40 to 50 bucks a month. And how much time is that going to save you so you don't have to write those articles? It's probably going to save you a few hours, right? So is your few hours worth 40, 50, even 75 bucks a month? Of course it is. So the way that they work is you can hire someone based on their writing expertise or their writing level. So if you just want it to be legible, that's probably going to be someone from India writing. You can get that done for 1.2 cents a word, which is cheap. So you can get a 300-word article done for, shoot, nothing, hardly anything. Average, excellent, professional. So we usually do ours between excellent and professional. As you see, there's a big price jump between excellent and professional. So we usually do excellent most of the time, and we'll mix in professional if we want it to be a really good blog post. And we're talking, we're talking 5, 6, 8, 10 bucks a blog post, maybe 15 bucks if you're talking on the professional level, which isn't very much at all, guys and gals. So hire that out. You go there, you post a listing, say, hey, here's the articles I want to do, and then you get all these people that will bid. Essentially, they'll say, yeah, I'll do this for you. Or you can choose specific authors if you want. Let's say you find an author that you like. I'm going to show you my process in finding the best authors. Let's say you find an author that you like, then in Textbroker you can say, okay, I just want to work with this one author now. And now that author has your system. You tell them, okay, here's our 3 content pillars. Here's our content calendar. Here's some examples of blog posts that you can model yours after, like the quality of the way they should look. Here's where you can grab some images to put on there. And then give them a login to your WordPress site, which you can set them up on your REItheme website as an author. So all they have access to is just update your blogs. They can't mess up your website. Text brokers are great. Here's another one. This one's called guru.com. Awesome place too. You can see there on the left, they have about 75,000 people who are actively freelance writers saying, hey, I will write content for you. You can see here's some right here. These ones are, that one's in Atlanta, this one's in Canada, that one down there is in New Hampshire. and minimum budget $25, and you can click through and see how they work. So guru.com, another great way. So don't think that you have to be writing the articles yourself, but you should be guiding the strategy, because the strategy is the important thing. And find someone who's experienced in what's called SEO content, so they just understand how to write for keywords and stuff. And if you have questions on that, guys and gals, let me know. So when you're going to go, if you want to go hire someone, this is what I do. I'll go to Texas Broker, or I'll go to guru.com, or even I'll go find interns locally, and I'll have a project. I'll say, okay, here are three articles, or here's one article that I want written. Maybe it's a real estate stats report for this month. Have them all do the same article, and then find at least 3 writers. You're essentially going to make them compete against each other, and you're going to pick the one that is the best. Because if you just go and pick one writer, you never know if he's very good. But if you test these 3, maybe 3 to 5, doing what I'm showing you, then you pick the one that's best and you keep working with them. So give them all the exact same instructions. Say, hey, here's an article we're looking at doing, blah, blah, blah. Give them a hard deadline. Tell them you have to have it by a certain day. The people who don't get it to you by that day, you of course don't want to work with them. The people who get it to you quick, but maybe have terrible quality, they're probably going to keep doing that. But people who get it to you on time with good quality, maybe you want to work with them. It really, really important. You need to give them a few examples of some posts that you wrote that you think are the quality and voice that you want them to be written in, so they can look at it and see examples. Give them a few websites as research sources, which is what we do. We'll tell the people, here's 5 websites to grab real estate news from. And then make sure that they know it's long term, because this is a biggie for a writer. Writers are starving, and a lot of them, they really want to know that they're going to get consistent business, so they're probably going to work harder and better if they know that they're working for not just one article, but for potentially writing 3 or 4 articles a month for a long time for you. So other sites to get ideas from: Wall Street Journal, Realtor Mag. You guys will have this list. Google News, topics. You guys will have that list in the members area. I'm just going to try to wrap this up. But in the end, your content builds your expertise, your search engine rankings, credibility, the whole thing. So a few things to do this week, guys and gals. Get those content pillars. Like I said, that's a really simple step, and that's going to help make things way, way easier for you. Create a simple content plan, like we've gone over. And get your first blog post up within the next 5 days if you can. And that's something I know that you can do. 1 second here. Just need to turn this phone off. Okay, cool. I mean, that's something I know you can do. You can get a blog post up on something in the next 5 days. Maybe it's a real estate stats report. And that's the way that you really want to go about doing it. Start pushing forward quick, guys. Pick your blog that you want to make your main one. Maybe your main company site is the one you post most of your stuff on. Maybe your cash buyer site is the stuff you post most of your stuff on. And then on your motivated seller site, you would maybe just post, of course, the stuff that's just related to that one. So I know I dumped a bunch on you guys and gals, and I appreciate you staying on. Let me see if you guys have questions. I'll answer questions for a few minutes here, then I gotta bounce. Okay, so Patricia, we already mentioned that one on how do you know if it's getting picked up. So Jimmy, we already answered that one. Okay, so Lou, how do you have a list of ways on how to market your blog posts? Yeah, so number 1, doing that keyword research on blog posts that you want to get ranked well is a biggie, because once again, on the REIbrain.com website and other websites that I've done in the real estate market, a lot of our traffic comes just through SEO. So, and it comes that way because we've done that quick research. We're titling our blog posts the exact keyword we want to rank for. So that right there is going to get you a good boost in traffic if you stay consistent with it. But there's other places to market your blog posts. So go to other real estate sites. Go to maybe the top 5 real estate agent blogs in your city, and real estate and mortgage broker blogs in your city, and start to network with them and ask them, hey guys, I'd really love to do this agent profile. Like get them to post content on your website. So you're telling them, hey, I'll market your blog for you. And odds are they're probably going to post content from you back on their website, and they'll market the link to your blog on their site. So, I mean, it really, you have to do some networking that also builds that relationship with those real estate agents and brokers. Other places to market your blog posts. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, SEO is the biggie that we use. So I'm not going to like say a bunch of stuff that I haven't applied. SEO, doing that quick research is the biggest thing that we use to get traffic to our blog posts. Yeah, LinkedIn, Lou, that great suggestion. I don't know why I didn't say that. LinkedIn's an awesome place for finding cash buyers and private lenders, by the way. Awesome place. So LinkedIn's a great one because real estate agents are on there, mortgage brokers are on there, the whole thing. A great place to post them on there. And then same thing, if you've got great content that you're putting together and a real estate agent keeps on seeing that stuff, or maybe the local newspaper reporter for business keeps seeing your stuff come through, they're going to call you up as the real estate expert for their next news story. You know, or they might even contact you if they're a real estate agent, going, man, I need to find I've got this person who's looking for investment properties, and I see you keep on posting stuff, and I'll connect them with you. Do you have any properties? So, no, great thing. Facebook could be a good one if you have a Facebook page, mainly for cash buyers, that kind of thing, private lenders. But yeah, I mean, just spend an extra 5 minutes when you're doing your blog posts on doing that quick keyword research I've talked about so many times, and that helps with the search engine rankings. There are other websites out there that you can list your blog on. A lot of them are free, and that helps too. I mean, that helps if you list your blog on them. It's not a bad thing. Be a guest blogger. That's like one of the best ways ever to get traffic to your website. Be a guest blogger on another real estate site. So go to biggerpockets.com and apply to be a guest contributor on them. And I think it requires you to do so many guest blog posts a month. And they're going to give a link to your website. You're going to get a bio with a link to your website, the whole thing. Once again, be a guest blogger on your real estate agent site, the whole thing. Awesome places. Okay. Yeah, Patricia, I was just shooting from the hip. So all that info will be in the video that we're going to be posting, so you could go through and watch the video again. Yeah. So anyway, guys and gals, I hope that helped you. So did this clear up some of the content frustration / fears that you guys have? Because I've been talking quite a bit in the previous weeks about getting blog posts up, and I know that people have been going, man, I don't know what to write. I don't know. It's going to be too much time. So I hope that this helped kind of ease that your mind. This call took way longer than I thought it was going to. I was planning on an hour. But since I was shooting from the hip, I kept on going off and telling a bunch more little tips. But yeah, I mean, really simple thing. If I boil this entire presentation down to just a few steps, think of content pillars. Always be thinking of how you can create your everyday experiences into content. And then put it in a calendar. And then sit down and write. Use that little idea list that I put up there when you're sitting down to write, and sit down there and write. There's no pressure. It doesn't have to be Pulitzer Prize winning stuff. It doesn't have to be anything like that. The biggest thing is consistency. If you can get consistent on your website, a post a week, whatever it is. And once again, choose your main website. So maybe your main blog is going to be your main company site, or maybe it's your cash buyer site. You probably shouldn't make it your motivated seller site unless that is the main part of your business. But yeah, just go out there and do it. If you guys have questions, hit us with emails anytime. We'll have these resources up here in the next day or two, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks, guys.